What's up guys, it's Drac, and we're coming into the armory here, and you can see that I've actually given away too many of these. I only have one left, but luckily this showed up in fan mail a couple months ago, and I think that I can use it to complete what it is I'm going after. Now, I'm going to have to do a lot of sanding and a little bit of cutting to this one, and I'm going to have to do the same things to this as well. But if we bring all of this over and through into the workshop's main area, you can see that I've gotten a lot of progress done on the Reaper costume, and all that remains at this point is to finish the Hellfire shotguns. Now, why did I choose the crossfire bow? First off, thematically, it has 4 shots. I thought that was cool. I think that there's going to be a way to adapt this front end to make it pretty close. I think that it's already got a very smooth body, and I think that the most important thing is that this front end to me looks a lot like the Hellfire shotguns. Now, we obviously have to cut the entirety of the foregrip off, then we have to paint it, but a lot of people are going to say that there are other better shotgun-styled things to do the handles with. But to that I say, when you're taking photos and doing a costume, you're holding it the entire time. So there are going to be gloved Reaper claws gripping the handle of this blaster anytime it's being photographed, more or less and within reason. So I think that these are the ideal candidate for this prop, and they're certainly what I'm going to be using. I'll also be modifying this into a keyring style pull by cutting away some of the excess and threading the keyring through here and then have it coming back. Now, all of that is very ambitious, but we have about 12 hours until we have to ship out for the convention, so let's see if we can't pull off a miracle yet. Here goes something. So at this point, both crossfire bows are completely sanded and ready for painting. We're going to be using vinyl dye as a base coat, and the lesson here is always, if you can, start with virgin blasters, because it's clear immediately that one of these is going to be very nice, and even after 3 hours of wet sanding, one of these is going to be not as nice. And that's no fault to the person who sent this. It's entirely my fault for just not going out and dropping $20 on another crossfire bow, but it's too late now. Everything is ready. Let's go lay on some base coats of paint, and then we'll start building the details up top, and then we'll do some of the detailings on the blaster. Oh my gosh, I wish I had more time. So I'm still working on the bodywork on the gunky kind of one, but this is more or less done. We've turned it into 2 front barrels. We filled that with foam and then puttied over that. We puttied over all the holes that we cut. We taped off the one piece that I want to remain orange, and everything else is getting a base coat of black vinyl dye. Now, again, normally you should always take apart a blaster before painting it, and I feel terrible that I'm doing this on camera, but I frankly didn't have time to do this properly, and I'm pretty sure that the way that this blaster is built, this is going to be functionally fine. I'm not happy with it, but I think that since this is primarily an aesthetic paint job and modification, that this is going to be okay. At least this time. So you guys have to let me get away with it once. Deal? Okay guys, so this is where the Hellfire shotguns are. One is here, one's actually over there. Don't worry about it. I am ready to start with the detailing on them. The only thing that I plan on adding this late, as you can see they've already been rebarreled in a specific way, is getting this kind of heat formed, painted, and then I'll add it onto the top. But this is going to be the embellishments that go up and over. Now it's got to be large enough coming up and over the top that I can still get some sort of wire up and through here so that I can prime this guy. But it's not a ton of detailing, it's just I'm completely and totally out of time and need these to look somewhat accurate. So here we go, let's heat form this. It is a thermoplastic called Warbler. If you watch the other cosplay videos, it'll make a lot of sense to you. And if you don't, then it's a thermoplastic called Warbler. Here we go. Alrighty guys, so here's a final look at the Reaper Hellfire shotguns. For how quickly these had to come together, I'm actually very happy with how they turned out. If I did them again, there are a lot of things that I would change, obviously. I'd modify this back end a little bit to give it a more angled grip. I would add some extra layers of Warbler for the embellishments here. And I'd also take the time to make a mold so that I could heat form this over something like, say, a thin shampoo bottle or something to that effect so that I could get a much smoother effect. But I replaced the regular draw, which wouldn't have worked, with a little leather strip here, and that essentially just lets me reach in and pull back. Now, there's another cool feature about that I'll talk about later, but firing these gets marginal performance. They were never designed to be competitive Nerf blasters. They were really designed to serve that look at Dragon Con and in photos look like I was dual wielding shotguns. But they do have all of the necessary detailing. This one, of course, is a little bit rougher because it is that one that had all the glue and gunk on it that I just couldn't manage to sand all of it off. But after changing the overall look of them with some epoxy putty here and then the PVC front end and epoxy putty blend to really change the muzzle styling, I hit it up with some silver enamel paint, which has been, of course, damaged by the con. Dragon Con is just really, really hard on props, guys. You'll have to take my word for it. But I got the repent in and a little bit of light silver detailing all over to match this. This one was scratched in the box. But the cool thing about them both being 4 shots is that if I wanted to, I could come in and, again, the Smart AR system has been left intact. It is a very tight fit with all of the gap filling and removal in there to get all 4 barrels functional inside PVC like this. But it did work, and I mean, this one is completely stock, so it still performs. But if I wanted to, I could hook up string to both of them and then prime them a la Maverick by pulling out and wrapping the string around my back. And then I could, without having to reach in each time, do 8 shots, not quite semi-auto, but without moving my dominant and non-dominant hands from the handles themselves. So we could, in theory at least, do an actual Nerf Death Blossom. And then once you're done firing, this leather thong just straps or kind of tucks back in like so, and in addition to the yellow or the orange priming piece being out of the way, the cord is out of the way as well, which allows you to use them as props. So given how quickly they were made, I think that they turned out alright. They definitely passed the 10-foot rule in cosplay, which is if a photographer is 10 feet away from you taking a picture, are they going to look good or achieve the desired effect? And these, particularly with the silver on the front end pointed directly at a camera, look pretty good, guys. But thank you very much for watching. This is just how I made my Reaper shotguns. People have been telling me like 80,000 times that I should use actual Nerf shotguns. They're like, use rough cuts or whatever, but I mean, this is how I wanted to make them. I feel like the front end of the crossfire bow was very important to me in getting that smooth, long look that the Hellfire shotguns have in the game. And I mean, I could have gap filled this. I could have built the handle out differently. I could have been much cleaner putting this together, but they had to be done in time for the convention, and they were. And ultimately, I'm happy with them. Photographers were happy with them, and the other Overwatch cosplayers were very impressed that at least one of the props actually fired something. That was pretty cool. All of the maze, everyone was very disappointed that they did not have water guns because it was so very, very hot. But those are my Hellfire shotguns. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like, you can click on this shotgun to check out how I built the mask, and this shotgun to check out how I built the gauntlets. Hopefully you guys enjoy those videos as well.